Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Walking with J.Beau. Today we're going to do about a 5.5 mile. Through the rural, scenic countryside once we get out of this lane. Another mile or so up the road. I hope you all are having a beautiful day. On this beautiful Thursday. September 19th, I believe. I hope that's right. Regardless, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of walking with traffic noise. I feel like I have to yell. So when cars are going by, I don't say much. But I do want to talk about the presidential polling. It's kind of a big deal because it's one of those things that a lot of people talk about, like at work or, you know, and they know that. So that's why the polling is always, it has not been good since probably Obama was president. So it's a tool that the left uses to force their narrative that everything is popular one way when it isn't. And Republicans rarely lead in these polls unless they're really dominating in the polls. So I'm going to start off locally. I'm going to throw you a curveball. We're going to talk about a local election here. That would be Austin, Ontario, running for Congress against an incumbent Democrat, Blue Dog Democrat, who supports firearms, or used to, is a veteran of Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, he is a combat veteran. Probably a pretty cool dude, but he is sitting in a Republican district in a red seat that's been red for a while until he won it. He's in his second term now. Third term. He's in his third term. So he needs to be unseated. And he did a little too much Biden supporting. He tried to speak up on the border issue only when he had to. Otherwise, he was going along with what they were doing. And he ran on not being Pelosi's puppet. So he gets a fail on that. And well, I think it's catching up to him because the latest polling, and it's by a polling company, I don't remember the name of it, I'm sorry, but I did recognize it when I read it, that it's a polling company that usually leans left. And they said that he is leading Jared Golden by 2 points. So he may be leading by more than that, which would be really nice. So it would be nice to add another congressman in DC that is a Trump-endorsed candidate, and he is leading right now as we pass a couple of Trump flags and the banner. A lawn sign, I mean. This is the recycled Trump sign. So we got a lot of stuff going on with the polling. A lot of times they are, I mean, basically what it comes down to is everything. Like when you see those videos online, for example, like there's one circulating right now where this woman is getting grilled in her workplace by a woman who will not go along with this transgender gender ideology stuff in the workplace. So she's being questioned by a trans woman who is being arrogant, condescending, and trying to force her to comply with agreeing that trans women are women. And she's reluctant to do so. So that person said, okay, but, and she starts going all arrogant on her. You're not showing us this, that. So it's that mentality that the left has. And they also have a thumb on the scale mentality, where thumbing the scale is okay because they are in the right. It's called virtue signaling. Self-righteous indignation, whatever you want to call it. They like to thumb the scale to affect, not affect, but effect the change that they want. You get what I'm saying? Force the narrative, make it the narrative, and the outcome shall be their narrative. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. So this polling is done by, a lot of times, these polling companies who get paid big money, like I told you. And they need to produce polling that the people paying them for the polling, who are propagandists, they don't care what the actual poll numbers are. Well, they do, but they want ones that say the political opposite of what they represent is losing at all costs. That's what they want. You don't give it to them, they'll go to another company that does, and you lose their business. Now, the other aspect of it is these polling companies generally are owned by leftist liberals. They're financed by, sometimes with campaign money or funds or favors for friends and businesses. And so they don't want their employees doing the polling coming back saying Orange Hitler is winning. Because they're literally like, Trump is Hitler. How can you possibly come back with these polling numbers? And, you know, so you get it. You know what I'm talking about. That's just the mentality they have. They like projection. They like to virtue signaling. That's all it is. And they're doing it with their polling. That's why you'll have 4 or 5 companies that favor Trump more, and then the other ones don't. And if you look into it, the ones that are favoring Trump often get labeled as conservative outlets, but they're really independent outlets that rely on honest polling, because if they don't do that, they won't get the business. So that's, you know, that's just how it is. And I think you understand perfectly what I'm talking about. It's the same mentality they used during COVID, the lockdown, vaccines, you name it. Whatever social issue there is, if you don't comply with it, you're fired, kicked out, shunned, blacklisted, crapped on, effed over, blah, blah, blah. So it's not some widespread conspiracy amongst everybody conspiring together like this big grand plan to lie about polling. I'm just saying that these companies, they're all the same type of people running them. So what you're seeing is coincidence, but you're seeing biased polling because they cannot face the fact that Orange Hitler is winning. It's unacceptable to them. But that's what's happening. So, and make no mistake, Trump is winning. My best guess is by about 2 points. That's the national popular vote by 2 points, so you can break down what you want in battleground states. I saw Newsweek today say Kamala Harris has a 6-point lead in Pennsylvania on Trump. Now everybody knows that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. But there it is. Another one says 4 points. 2 other ones say it's tied. And this is what I'm talking about. It's like the ones that say it's tied don't want to say Trump's leading. The ones that put Kamala ahead don't want Trump winning, but they want to make sure Kamala looks good. It all depends what their customers want. Ipsos is really terrible, and they're paid a lot of money by big media companies like the AP and Reuters, and they don't want to lose that business. It's all dishonest. It's all messed up, just like everything else in politics. It stretches down into, you know, ABC News covering up, giving Kamala the questions, and promising not to discuss Biden's mental status and her knowing about it. So none of those questions were asked. And that whistleblower signed an affidavit, sworn affidavit before the debate happened. That's the key thing to that, okay? It's dated before the debate. And it completely validates what happened in the debate that we saw. That's why it is crucial that that is validated. And some kind of big statement comes out soon, which it will, because I believe Speaker Johnson for the Republicans was sent that affidavit. So we're going to have that to watch coming up soon. The Republicans might be holding on to it. And this is the kind of thing that I'm not even sure this would be the case today, but some people seem to think that this would lead to anchors that were on there being aware of it, and they should be relieved of their jobs, and the network should be disgraced. But it's ABC, and it's ABC News, owned by Disney and ABC. So I just cannot imagine David Muir being disciplined over Trump, you know, because you cannot side with Orange Hitler, okay? And you see the problem we have here. If it was just some regular Republican, maybe, but it's Trump. You cannot begrudge Trump any damn thing. So anyway, I'm gonna flip this around for a while. Hi everybody, J.Beau here, and we're walking along. I'm not going to do selfie for the whole walk today, but I want you to know who you're talking to at least. And but anyway, they cannot begrudge Orange Hitler any kind of anything unless it's bad. So this election year is crazy. Never seen anything like this. These people are absolutely rabid. They absolutely hate Trump. And I still think a lot of them really don't know why. It's just this mob mentality, the mob, you know? This is how people used to get strung up in the Old West that were innocent. because 3 or 4 prominent people pointed their fingers at them. Everybody was like, yeah, let's get him. So that's what's happening with Trump. Freaking Wild West. There's no law and order. Literally. So, pretty bizarre. But Trump is leading, and they're going to crash even harder when he wins. Because he could win this whole thing, not even winning Pennsylvania. So even if they manage and cheat to win Pennsylvania, you know, Trump only needs one Rust Belt state. Just one. So, hey, how you doing? So it's one of those things where they are just, no matter what, that's what they do. As we have our officers back there keeping an eye and keeping everybody safe in a black unmarked car. So that's one of those things where we have all of this stuff going on right now that's crazy, and it's absolutely bananas, really, when you think about it. Orange Hitler. So anyway, I really do hope that Austin Terrio, the local from Aroostook County up north towards Fort Kent in Canada, is poised to unseat Jared Golden. And I haven't heard about any independents running on the ballot. So I'm going to be anxious to get my ballot in the mail and see. And the reason why I asked that is ranked choice voting. I told you guys about that. So we'll see what happens. There's going to be 5 presidential candidates in Maine, even with RFK removed. So swear to God they do this on purpose, because you got ranked choice voting. That's what it is. So 3 out of the 5 candidates that are independents, 3 of them lean left. So they're going to vote for their independent candidate, and their second choice on there is going to be Kamala Harris. Or maybe it won't be. That's the thing with ranked choice voting. So, pretty cool, huh? You can go vote for multiple people on the same night. But if Kamala Harris wins by 50% or more, which, make no mistake, Kamala Harris is going to win Maine. That's expected. She's got like a 9-point lead, and I believe that's valid. Might be just 2 points off, might be 7, but you know, the point is Trump's not going to win the whole state of Maine. He will get the Electoral College vote from this district we're in here, which is ME2. I've seen a couple of news outlets online call it CD2 for the electoral. No, that's ME2. That's for the National Federal. CD2 is Congressional District 2 for the congressional race. So, but the media doesn't get everything right, do they? So anyway, starting to sweat. It's 80 degrees today. Dew point's about 60. Humidity is about 90. It's well, actually, the dew point's about 72. That's right. It's warm. And tomorrow is going to be much cooler. So we're going to get a Canadian front go through. Then we'll get into the more seasonal 70 degrees, upper 60s, low 70s, which will be nice. So this may very well be the last 80-degree day until spring. So anyway, Happy you're here with me walking. That's really nice. I really do enjoy, people have been tuning in, so that's nice. And I realize a lot of people aren't going to watch the entire walk. That's fine. That's fine. But again, I don't like to spread misinformation and things like that. But the next topic I'm going to talk about, which I do sometimes, has to do with vaccines. You already know I'm not a fan of the mRNA technology for the so-called vaccines that are not actually vaccines. It is a DNA pre-programmed that reprograms your immune system with regard to whatever specific strain they have aimed it at. And so what's interesting about that is monkeypox. Monkeypox is a type of pox, and they want to call it mpox instead of monkeypox because it sounds derogatory towards brown-skinned people, I guess. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with race, but it is about these types of vaccines that they're using, and it is a mRNA type. And the FDA website actually posted side effects from the that vaccine finally. So it's not good. It talks about myocarditis. Now I'm talking about the monkeypox vaccine, and I know YouTube likes to use these algorithms to correct people, so I'm going to very flatly say the information I'm giving comes from the FDA website, Biden's FDA, okay? There's nothing exaggerated, there's no conspiracy. This is factual. Anybody can check it out at the FDA, okay? FDA.gov. Look up monkeypox vaccine, and you will have this information I'm giving you. They have a PDF on their website for side effects. The first glaring one is fetal death. That's right, you could have a miscarriage getting vaccinated for monkeypox. Clearly stated on their page. The other side effect, besides the usual stuff, dizziness, sweating, not feeling well, feeling sick, abdominal pains, intestinal issues, inflammation caused by the vaccine, and the big one, shortness of breath, inflammation in your heart, myocarditis. And this is that guy again, fully wrapped up in full clothing on a warm day with his face covered. He's got to have some kind of medical issue. That's all I can think of, which is fine. It's none of my business. But it must be pretty terrible riding all wrapped up like that on a warm day like today. So we'll just leave him alone. But anyway, myocarditis, which can lead to cardiac arrest and death. And that's on the FDA website. Again, for the algorithm that I know is listening, I will tell the truth about vaccines that they call vaccines that aren't vaccines. And that's free speech. But that's all fully listed on their website. The other shocking thing listed on the PDF that I read, and this is important. Now, the monkeypox vaccine is not geared specifically towards gay people, okay? The LGBT community, which I love very much. I love anybody that's minding their own business and not shoving it down other people's throats. That's more of a political thing I'm upset with the LGBT community. but not LGBT people. So I want to clarify the difference. So anyway, on their PDF, this is what it says, that intimate contact, which means sexual relations, or intimate contact, which could be kissing a loved one that's gay on the lips, could be your kid, you know what I mean? Your mom, you kiss your kid. And they've been vaccinated for monkeypox to be safe because they have intimate sex with homosexuals. So it's one of those things where it says right on the PDF, and it's called shedding or sloughing, where you can transfer these spike proteins through physical contact with somebody that's been vaccinated for monkeypox. Now, I realized 2 years ago that was a conspiracy. I don't know where their algorithm is on YouTube yet. I'm sure you'll find out, because this video either will not be shown or there will be a disclaimer underneath it. Regardless, it is on the FDA website, official PDF, side effects for the monkeypox vaccine, or the Mpox vaccine, okay? I'm not making that up. So that means that if you use a public restroom and somebody, let's say they urinate on the seat or something like that, because you got a trans person using the ladies' room, and a lady comes in and sits down on a toilet seat that has been urinated on by accident, you can have the monkeypox virulent used for the vaccine. You can catch it. And that's what the PDF says at the gov site, fda.gov. Again, I'm not making it up. So any contact that involves personal contact with body fluids, which I would assume that would also include somebody height, that would include somebody sneezing or something similar. We're gonna vote for Trump, right?
That's right.
That's right. Trump 2024. So I already knew that guy was a Trump supporter. So anyway, we're going to go on this side over here, and we're going to show you how pretty fall is starting to look. Starting to see the oranges out there, and we got a big giant gobbler. There's a big giant gobbler at the end of my finger down there. Don't know if you can see, and I can't zoom. Oh, there we go. There's 3 of them. I don't know if you can see those. I hope so. So we got 3 turkeys out there. They look like they're having fun. Ooh, 4, 5. They were squatting down in the tall grass. I guess that's their way of hiding or resting. So we got a car coming this way. We have a car coming. And we'll flip this back around. So we are out in Trump country here. It is beautiful here. I wanted to go on this route today because this route is going to be changing every day, a little more fall. And we want to come out here and record this. I do want to cross the street, get across here. So I've got acorns falling out of the sky, and I don't see the llamas out here today. They're usually not out, and they're not out today. One of these days they'll be out and I'll catch them. But anyway, we have beautiful scenery here. I guess we could film this way. And you can see how nice it is out here and why I like to walk here. Looks like we'll get some free stuff here. An old chest. It's got some rust on it. Probably was out in their barn getting humidity. And we have a aluminum bat and some other stuff. So anyway, go back to filming out in there. So usually we have alpacas out there, down that way. Somebody turning around over here, film over my head. So I like to get some different camera angles walking out here. And you can see over here, the tree is starting to look pretty. So anyway, that is my opinion on the election. Trump is leading the popular national approval polling by 2 points. They're trying really hard to sell Kamala as Obama 2.0, but it's just not happening. They're running out of time. And the other thing I want to talk about is the Fed. Now, often, you know, in 2020, you know, when Trump was still president, the Fed didn't want to get involved with rate changes. Remember? Trump was begging and pleading with them to cut interest rates because it would help him in the election. The Fed wouldn't do it. And he said, no, can't do that. Well, what did they announce yesterday? They're cutting the Fed by 0.5 point, which is going to help Kamala and Biden's economy. So this just kills me. How low they stoop. And then they put on the face, no, we weren't being political. It was necessary. So that's what they did again. And Trump knew they were going to do it. He said it 6 months ago. He said as the election gets closer, the Fed's going to cut the interest rates. So they make it look like the economy's doing great. So it's not going to cut inflation. It'll make it a little easier for people to buy homes, but not much. Not like it was in 2020, let's put it that way. So anyway, they are throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, to get Trump out of the picture. And for what I've seen, it's not working. Now, did Trump help himself with that debate? Yes and no. I've gone over that. Ooh, it's raining acorns. We just had about 8 of them. I'm sure you heard them. And they're all over the yard here. And they just fall right out of the tree. I'm surprised you have not seen me get hit on the head yet. Neighborhood dogs want to kill me. So, Trump's ahead by 2 points. The debate did not help him with the traditional vote, with the traditional voters. But what it did do is polling has shown, and there's also disinformation polling on that too. But the real polling with the real crosstabs, Trump did 60% well with independent voters. The left-leaning independents who weren't sure were not happy with Trump's performance. Still not quite sure if they're going to vote for Kamala or not. Some of them will. And so Trump lost a couple of points with independents because of the debate. There's no arguing that, but it's not what the media is saying. It's not a bloodbath. It hasn't changed very much, let's put it that way. And between now and the election, that's going to tighten up again anyway, because Trump's message is getting out there pretty good right now, mainly because of things like X, social media. And a lot of these streaming online companies have a lot of independents, and these young people that are on TikTok, they're on Kick, they are on Odyssey, Twitch, Snapchat, and the Instagram and Facebooks for the older people. That's typically older people use those. And they're censoring a lot right now. So I saw one pretty prominent poster on Instagram. I don't use Instagram, but they posted a pro-Trump ad, and their account was suspended. Not just, okay, we're going to kick you off for a week because you're supporting Trump. They suspended the account. And this is what they did in 2020. And the reason being is you either suspend the account, or what you're going to see is, and this actually happened to me, is they're going to suspend the account within 30 days of the election. And what they're going to do is they're either going to suspend you for 30 days or they're going to suspend your account. Now, if you're within 30 days of the election and you're suspended 30 days, well, your 30-day suspension extends past election day. So for that whole month, you're not able to talk about Hunter's laptop, which is what they did to me, because it was Russian disinformation, which turned out to not be the case, was it? So now things like immigration stuff, Haitian immigrants in Ohio, I think if you talk about that stuff, you're going to get your account suspended, because foreign interference is spreading that with bomb threats and spreading that. And so I have no idea what their policy is going to be. I don't think they know either. I think they're just going to be random. If you're, you know, an account with a half decent following, or if you're talking about something too much, that will qualify as being suspended. And, you know, you can appeal it, but they can just let it sit there for a month. Due to the volume right now, blah, 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 it may take 3 to 4 weeks to look at your claim. So that, I'm just telling you what they're doing, okay? They did it last year. And, you know, you got Hillary Clinton out this week saying people spreading AI memes and misinformation and parody ads and stuff like that should be prosecuted, is what she said. So they definitely want people to shut up. And unless you're supporting Kamala, then you can go ahead and say Trump said it was going to be a bloodbath. He said there was fine people on both sides. And all of that stuff that's been debunked, you can go ahead and say that, apparently, and you're okay. But if you support Trump and flip that the other way around, nope, you're going to get suspended. That's what they're doing, because that's what they're doing. So anyway, as we walk, we're right about 2.5 miles right now. And we're going to walk on, folks, walk on. The other day we came this way, but we came this way. This time we go this way. So I'm going to flip this around now. I can give my arm a rest. But you can see it's a nice day today. More acorns crash down on the road. Free food from heaven for the deer and the little squirrely things. Cars coming here. Two and a half miles I just hit. And this is starting to look rather fall-like, I think. Very nice shot, I think. Now we're starting to look like fall in Maine. And we're going to have the temperatures to prove it tomorrow. Ain't going to be no 80 degrees like today. So I was asked if I have any videos of walking in the woods, trail hiking and stuff. I most certainly do. So go to my profile, click on the tab that says playlists, and look for Woods Walk Gun Talk. There should be about 28 videos if YouTube hasn't taken it upon themselves to delete many of them, because I'm taking up a lot of their allotted space that they're gracious enough to give for free. So I can't complain about that. But I don't know what they choose to as a criteria for deleting. I'm assuming it is the amount of views it's had or interest. So I guess if you go watch those, it helps it out. Very nice today. Beautiful colors. Look at that. That looks nice. Pretty soon most of all of these trees are going to look like this. That's why I want you guys to see it when it happens. We'll be walking on here, it'll be cool, and you're gonna see leaves falling like snow. That's gonna be nice. It should make for good walks. And this is the route I'm gonna take, I've decided, this year. More often than not, on days that are nice like this, it gives me my 5.5 mile walk. So I can stay fit and enjoy the vista. Pretty nice home there. This is our neighborhood. Only about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles off in one direction. I just come here to walk. Excuse me. Ugh, some dust. Anyway, some pussy willows on the side of the road. Yeah, so the funniest thing happened online. I know I say that a lot, but this is really funny. This is Gavin Newsom, or as Trump calls him, Gavin Newscum, signed a bill into law in California yesterday or the day before that expressly states that if you are a resident of California and you knowingly post AI altered political content, or deep fakes as they're called, where the AI looks realistic, and even if it's done as parody, you could end up being charged under that new law in California, the unconstitutional anti-free speech censorship law. So, of course, the Babylon Bee came out with an entire AI deep fake video of Gavin Newsom talking about how shitty California is to live in, and saying that it's been so bad that he's the greatest governor California's ever had, and you should support Kamala Harris to mess up the country as bad as California. It's the funniest parody video I have ever seen, and Elon Musk reposted it. And Gavin Newsom is having a shit fit over it. Excuse my language, I usually don't swear on here, but he is having a conniption over that. And during a press conference for workers, which is a joke in California, he was asked by the press if there's any charges they plan on making. Well, we just signed that into law. People are going to take a look. So he's basically saying if there's a way they can charge Elon Musk with this, they're going to. Elon Musk didn't make the video, he just reposted it on X, okay? And the reason why they're doing this is it's an election cycle, and they're trying to get the media to pick up the story and push that X is a conservative platform spreading disinformation, election misinformation, and that people should stay away from X because they will be exposed with fake news. Even though it clearly says it's parody, and anybody with a normal IQ would know that it was parody. But, you know, the Democrats have no sense of humor. They don't understand sarcasm. You know, a lot of times when you're being sarcastic, they think you're being honest and truthful. That's, you know, you're saying something ridiculous. You know, like if you say something, you know, like if Putin launches missiles, well, we'll just put up a defense of rainbow flags and trans flags. They don't understand that that's sarcasm. Somebody will actually say, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Really? They don't have that, I don't know what you call it. Common sense? That's what it is. They don't have common sense. So they're trying to intimidate Elon Musk, who's basically going to tell them to go F themselves. And, you know, this is really good stuff, folks. This is good. This is democratic. This shows how unconstitutional Democrats are in their mentality. Because then they have to justify and explain why it's okay to silence citizens like they do in Europe, okay? This is the thing. Whenever you see this tyrannical takeover by far-left extremists, socialists, neo-Marxists, Marxist, whatever you want to call them, they have to silence you so their narrative becomes the truth. You have to be silenced. That's one of the priorities. You'll either get intimidated by losing your job, like they tried to do with COVID here in America, which the Constitution gave them the big finger on that. And if it wasn't for that beautiful piece of paper, the United States Constitution, all of these rights would be gone already. For the greater good, wink, wink. We're doing this for the greater good. So that includes your gun rights, that includes all of this stuff. So, I'm gonna flip this back around. There we go. Not sweating too bad today, not like yesterday, especially not like the day before. So yeah, if you want to control the population, you have to disarm the public, you have to control the media, and you have to control the government. And the Democrats systematically are trying to accomplish all of those in the United States. So we need to get rid of Kamala Harris. We need to send them packing. We need to give them a loss. Very importante. Very importante. All right. I'm going to let them know that they're not going to win that easily without a fight. So, and that's the problem with this stuff. If you get to censor that stuff, you get to say, okay, somebody putting their fist in their hand in the air, saying, fight, fight, fight. You know, the fight, 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 that's inciting violence. We're going to censor that. People can't see that. When in actuality, they don't want people to see it because it humanizes Trump. And that's how they play that stuff. And that's why we have to ignore it. We have to not comply with it. And a perfect example is an incident that happened at the Cardinals Stadium. I believe it was in Arizona. A fan who was a season ticket holder was going into the stadium And some woman that works there said, you have to take off that MAGA hat. You cannot come in here with a political hat. No political, it's not allowed. Well, she was like, she shrugged it off like, you kidding me? And she walked past her to go in, and that woman stopped her. And she was asked to leave. Season ticket holder. So, she's been a season ticket holder for 30 years, okay? She had one of those black MAGA hats that said in silver, "Make America Great Again." And that's one of the new popular hats on the Trump website. So go there and get one and buy one and help Papa Trump win this election. So anyway, she actually threw the hat in the trash so she could go inside and see the game. She was with her husband. They were both upset about it. Then it made the media. So what happened was, the team itself issued an apology to her. They wanted to meet with her and talk with her and apologize for the employee who misinterpreted their rules. Their rules clearly stated signs, political signs that you could hold up, because when the TV is on the crowd, you don't know what people are going to show. It could be something outrageous, like they support Nazis or something really bad. So there's no signs. There's absolutely no policy on hats, shirts, or anything like that. The team told this woman that the person that did that has been disciplined. She was acting on her own because she didn't like what the hat said. So she was a white, virtue-signaling female who hates Donald Trump and wanted to make this woman's life shit over it. She was a Karen, okay? So that's what happened with that. The team said that they're going to retrain and speak to their entire staff to make it clear that things like MAGA hats or a hat that supports Kamala will be free speech supported in their stadium. So kudos on them for that, right? At least they did that. And you know, that's a lot of bad publicity for the team. Ticket sales, money. You know, people are like, they don't want to get boycotted. They saw what happened with Harley Davidson, Bud Light, and all these other companies, John Deere. So they don't want to be in that. So they nipped that in the bud early, issued an apology, and I'm sure they're going to get a lot of crap from it from the left. What do you mean apologizing? Trump's an orange Hitler. Those hats should not be allowed. So it's really a no-win scenario for them. So that's why I think a lot of these places are retraining their staff just not to stoke anything. Just don't, you know? So I thought I heard a deer. It's actually just acorns falling out of the tree. Wow. Best I can tell, I don't see anything. Anyway, so that's my news story on that today. Now, these people are terrible. These people are horrible people. They want to censor. That's how you control things. That's how you control narratives. You shut people up from talking about it. So anyway, that's the road I'm walking on right there up ahead. I'm going to go all the way up this hill. Looks pretty. I think so anyways. And I am very grateful to live in Maine. It's absolutely gorgeous. Cost of living is higher in some places. I think we're in the top 5. So course, you got Hawaii and California in that. We're not as bad as that, but cost of living is higher here. It is. And it's like that all through New England, really. Any place that's blue, all right? Any place that's blue, prices go up for everything because of taxes, whatever you want to call it. We pay a few cents more for gas here than you do, say, in New Hampshire or Vermont. And it's taxes. It's, you know, tax and spend Democrats. It's always been like that. It's still like that. And, you know, there's been a rash of expenditures increasing for a lot of people recently in Maine. A lot of people are not happy about it, and they shouldn't be. So, anyway, living somewhere beautiful seems to have a price tag. California is gorgeous, Hawaii is gorgeous, Maine is beautiful, and people here are nice, friendly. Once you get out of the big cities that Democrats run, coincidentally. So anyways, hope you're enjoying the walk with me once again. I don't know what else to talk about. I do know that they're pretty good at lying about things to get elected. And I just saw a recent questionnaire submitted to independent voters who were undecided. It seemed kind of balanced, I guess. A lot of them didn't like how Trump has a short temper. They don't like his temperament. And with Kamala, pretty much most of the independents said she was fake, phony, saying what she has to get elected. And about a third of the independents basically weren't going to vote for Trump or Kamala. And out of the rest of them, most of them were going to vote for Trump because of policy. Trump still ranks high on immigration and economy. 2 to 1, easily. 2 and sometimes 3 to 1 over Kamala on those topics. And that's what's going to win the election. So they're trying to tell us with a straight face, Kamala is unpopular with approval. Trump is more popular approval-wise than he ever has been. He still isn't what I would say popular, but you know what I'm saying. And Kamala is trailing behind Hillary and Biden in past elections with popularity in those states and polling. She's trailing. And right now she is on pace to be probably the worst candidate the Democrats have ever put forth. So that's a lot of work right there. She's pedaling up the hill. And she's in good shape. I'm not dead. So I'm just old. So anyway, Kamala is probably popularity-wise the worst candidate they've ever put forth, and they're trying to sell her as Obama 2.0. There's even crazy talk like she's threatening North Carolina. No, she's not going to win Georgia either. She's not going to win Arizona, and she's not winning Wisconsin. She's not winning Pennsylvania. So I'm not going to get too eager about the election. But looking at it objectively, just using numbers and facts and trends, and you know, she just did a hour-and-a-half interview, and she pretty much bombed in it. She did a lot of her word salad nonsense. You know, she's talking and she goes, the community of children is a community of children. These children are in a community, and because it's a community and they're children, these children need their community because communities for children are needed. She said some ridiculous thing like that, and I'm almost not exaggerating. So, very strange. I can't imagine voters hear that and go, what a great solution that is. Let's have children communities and put children in communities so those communities can have children. Good answer. I don't think so. So she had a whole bunch of things like that. One part of it, she literally sounded like she was drunk, but she probably was. I think, honestly, she's got a drinking problem. We're never going to find that out unless they actually get caught doing that, where she actually comes out and she's visibly, you could tell she's drunk. So, but anyway, I'm sweating pretty good right now. So this is what I'm looking at here, walking. So I'm going to flip this back around so I can continue walking. Sheriff car. Seeing a lot of law enforcement today. We've seen a sheriff, we've seen an unmarked car, and we've seen a black and white Lewiston Police Department. Androscoggin Sheriff and undercover. Don't know who he was, but he was uniformed. Might have been state police. Don't know. He'd been sitting there for a while, though, whatever he was doing, because there was a puddle of water underneath his car. That's from the air conditioning dripping off. So he'd been there for a while, at least a half hour, 40 minutes, my guess. I go up here. We just hit 4 miles. We just hit 4 miles. Another car coming. I'll go back up here. Yeah, so I guess from what I've been gathering on the internet, most women don't mind trans women who mind their own business and they're not pushing that ridiculous nonsense. And they don't want to change in the ladies' room in front of ladies. There are some real transsexual people out there that recognize that they're not women. Transsexual, you can call them a trans woman if you want to. You're not saying they're a woman by doing that. Because and I spent some time thinking about that. The word trans is Latin. We use it all the time in translate, transatlantic, transport, transcribe, whatever you want to call it. The Latin, the English definition is to go beyond or to cross over. So when somebody calls themselves a transsexual, they are saying that they are going beyond their usual normal sexuality, or they have crossed over from their sexuality to something different. It does not imply that they have changed their sex, and that is the old medical definition, transsexual. And today they want to use transgender because gender can be more fluid. You can apply it to anything. Now you can be non-binary, you can be this, you can be that, this gender, that gender, 200 whatever genders. There's only two sexes. You got XY chromosomes equals a male. XX means you're a female. Get over it. End of story. And real transsexual people understand that. So that's what I'm saying. It's that cult mentality with the rest of them, with the neo-Marxist transgender ideology, that is upsetting the apple cart and making everybody angry. This is the same cult that went after the kids, and I think a lot of people let a lot of things slide until they went after the kids. And now you got Tampon Tim in Minnesota putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, and that stuff just does not play well with the public, as evidenced. Okay, here's another example. The Kamala campaign has stopped talking about Tim Walz. Have you noticed? Because he lied about his military service and he's putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, and people don't like that. None of them are talking about that transgender stuff at all, okay? Kamala Harris campaign is not talking about it. Just like the Mainers running for re-election are not talking about it. It is not popular with the public. Donors are the ones that want that. The ones with the money, the globalists, the socialists, the people organizing and orchestrating all of this madness we have to deal with daily. That includes the climate scam, any social issues having to do with race or gender or anything. So the Democrats are just complying because they want the money and they want to enjoy having the power. But now they're realizing the people don't want that. They're upset about it. So now they're not going to talk about it. So now they have dropped Tim Walz off the radar from talking about them. And at first they brought him in. He was going to win over the male vote in Pennsylvania. Well, that's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. Okay? They can go around dancing around on stage, spreading as much joy as they want to. That's not going to make the person worried about their kid coming home saying, "Mom, I want to have my boobs chopped off. I'm non-binary. And you have to let me do it, because if you don't, then, well, you're going to lose custody of me and the state's going to pay for everything I need. And I'll just abuse the system that way." That's paraphrasing, of course. I'm exaggerating, but that's the equivalent to what's happening. That's what the laws are in Maine here. So Angus King, who's running for re-election, isn't talking about it. The governor of Maine is not talking about LGBT issues anymore. And the Democrats passed that into law earlier this year, I should say, hoping that it's not going to be an issue. So the local media is not talking about that stuff either. All of a sudden, nobody is talking about this stuff in an election year because it's not popular. So I think we're right in the middle of things changing, and we need to win this November. Not just the presidency, but we're talking about the House and the Senate, and we need to win all of that. And you have these freaking morons who don't know anything. Why is Trump doing a rally in New York? Why is he wasting his time? And he's never going to win New York. Well, probably not. But what he is going to do is he's there to support the candidates running for office that are Republicans. Republicans have had good success in New York because people are sick of the bullshit. So he did a rally there at Nassau Coliseum. Pretty much a record crowd, I think. It was huge. So that was last night. And I'm going to go across over here. So that's what happened with that. And he's there to get people, try to get Republicans elected in their local government and also Congress. Republicans had a good midterm there. You know, the media narrative was, oh, the red wave that never came, and they didn't cover what happened in New York because they don't want to talk about it. Republicans had really big wins in New York. So, and a lot of people don't remember the special election in New Jersey. The governor there almost didn't get elected. Got a lot closer than he wanted it to. That's the one where that prominent Democrat of 30-something years in New Jersey lost to a trucker who spent like $2,000 on small advertising and put up a couple signs at a local truck stop. And he ended up winning that seat. He unseated somebody that had been there over 30 years who had all the financial backing in the world. And the people were just tired of what was going on. So that is still a story in New York. There's a lot of people in New York who are not happy about a lot of things. And I think you're going to see that in November. So if we can flip 3 or 4 congressional seats in New York, that is 3 or 4 more Republicans in Congress. It's a big deal, okay? Because the House is expected to be a close race again. So anyway, I think that's about all I got for this walk. Hope you're enjoying the day with me walking. It has been nice. I'm gonna flip this around now. There we are. How you doing? I found you. So we're going to walk on a little bit more. It is warm today, but not hot. There we go. We're at about 4.5 miles right now. I'm going to cross the street because I got to make a left up ahead. There we go. That's a pretty good view right there, I think. A bug tried to go in my ear. I hate that. That's what bugs do. But anyway, thank you for walking with me. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. This is more or less a walking vlog of just personal, whatever I want to talk about. And it is kind of a fitness thing. I'm 56, so It's kind of like a staying fit over 50 kind of thing, maybe. I guess that's about all I want to say on that. So as far as the election goes, grab some people to go vote. You can vote by mail, absentee, whatever it is. Make sure you vote, okay? This is really, really important. It's a big deal. It's bigger than it ever has been. And even on this election, okay, they're going to say we had near record turnout. And it's still going to be around the 50% mark somewhere, 50, maybe 60. I mean, people got to vote. They have to. You know, you don't want to be one of those guys where you got nuclear missiles flying by overhead and we're screwed. And, you know, because we got stupid people in DC. It's that important. You know, that kind of stuff upsets me because it's literally avoidable. Ridiculous stats like 60% of the gun owners in Pennsylvania don't vote. They're not even registered. 60% according to the NRA. That's inexcusable. They're taking your gun rights. How can you not register to vote? That's going to lead me to my final thing I want to talk about. And this is really important, okay, for the Pennsylvania polling. The media has confirmed this. They've been reporting it. The Republicans have outdone the Democrat voters in Pennsylvania with new registrations. There are 400,000 today new Republican voters in Pennsylvania that didn't exist in 2020. And they have heavily outperformed the Democrats. So you might get a low enthusiasm turnout by Democrats, which is the other number I've been seeing, where the amount of absentee ballots in Pennsylvania requested on this date last election, this year the Democrats aren't even coming close. We had a pandemic in 2020. People were at home doing nothing. And now people have gotten back to normal, more or less. That's arguable. But the ballot request, absentee ballots in Pennsylvania, is down by 1/3 among Democrats. So they don't have the same enthusiasm over Kamala than they do with Biden. Plus, they're not at home bored with a pandemic with nothing else to do except vote. So there's a lot of those things involved here that are starting to show. If I do like you say, like I was saying, and leave the media narrative and do your own reading, your own investigative reporting, or tune into a vlog like this, because I do that stuff. So there's 400,000 new voters in Pennsylvania that aren't being polled. You know, that's not showing up in the polls. They don't have a poll for that. What I mean by that is a polling model. So a lot of these polling companies have not changed the way they poll people. And they're calling Republicans for their polls, but a lot of times they're calling people that are never Trumpers. They're Republicans, but they hate Trump. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, you got Republicans that wish Trump would get killed. So how many of those people are being polled? Because most of the Trump voters, they don't do any polling. Somebody calls up with a poll, they hang up on them. You know, that's how I feel about it. So that's why the polling cannot be trusted, and that's why we're seeing it all over the damn place. It all depends who you're calling and asking. So that's why I trust Trafalgar and Rasmussen more than other ones, because when Trump was leading, Trump was falling behind Biden, Rasmussen was saying honestly that Trump is not doing well right now. That was earlier this year, right around the State of the Union in February, January. Biden had a pretty good lead on a lot of places. And then people started seeing how deteriorated he was, and that gradually fell off. So Kamala isn't doing very much different than what Biden was doing when he was in the toilet. So that's just the truth of it. So we're not getting all of the legitimate numbers, okay? So that's just some stuff I wanted to give you to think about, ponder it. I'm sure that makes sense to you. Also, Pennsylvania is not going to have that mass mail-out balloting that they had during the pandemic to ensure democracy and everybody gets to vote. Who cares if they get 10 ballots in the same place? They're only going to vote once, right? So, none of that this time. They are going to have to verify dates and signatures now. The Supreme Court in Pennsylvania just ruled that. So they're not going to be able to cheat like they did before. There's still going to be some shenanigans, but they're not going to be able to cheat enough to make up that difference. So, you know, they don't have a pandemic to fall on this time as an excuse. Hi. So they were talking about how we're not going to know the election results in Pennsylvania the night of the election. So they're already telling you you're not going to know the night of the election. They don't know how many people are going to vote or not vote, but they threw that out there anyway. So Trump is encouraging people to vote by mail, vote by sale, vote by boat, vote by car, by truck, walk, crawl, get your ass off the couch and vote. Whatever way you want to vote, vote. So I'm going to vote absentee in Maine because I trust the elections here. You have to request a ballot. Your city clerk has to verify your information before it gets mailed to you. They have to approve it. So they don't, however, request an ID, and they're trying to get that on the ballot for people to vote for. And I support that. I will vote for voter ID 100%. So we got that to look forward to. I'm sure they will get it on the ballot. They need a certain amount of signatures, and I've already signed that petition. So, you know, when you see these petitioners outside of places, a lot of times people just want to walk by and they don't want to be bothered. Oh, please don't talk to me, and you hurry up and walk by. Find out what they're there for. If they're there for a Republican cause, you know, stop and ask them a couple of questions. What is this for? Show me what this is promoting, and you know, just be honest with them. Say, no, I don't support that. I'm sorry. I gotta go do my shopping. No, really, I gotta try to keep you there to talk you out of it. Say, no, I gotta go shopping. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day, and you just walk off. So. Anyway, hope I gave you some stuff to think about, and we will see you on the next walk. And I'm going to end this walk with some people playing pickleball. I can hear them. Pickleball. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for walking with me. Ciao.